Good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday. This is Janet Wakeland with Remarkably Created, and we are on video number 6 featuring product previews, tips, and samples from new product that is being released January 7th. If this is your first time seeing one of these videos, all of the previous videos are archived. In addition, I'm giving all of these product previews the very similar name, 2025 Stampin' UP product releases, video number XYZ. So you can find the previous videos up under the media tab, maybe under the 3 little dots on your device, or simply using the search feature and putting in the word video or 2025, or maybe a specific name of the stamp set. So lots of good stuff coming January 7th. I've mentioned before we have products coming from this print mini catalog. You're going to be rewarded for shopping in January and February with qualifying purchases. There is lots and lots of new product coming direct online as well on January 7th, and then lots of great new scrapbooking products. So for today's feature, we're going to look at a bundle and then a coordinating stamp set that was released right alongside of it. So the bundle is called Hugs for Love. And while it definitely has the word Happy Valentine's and has some hearts, I love that it has a lot of non-Valentine greetings, if that makes sense. Because hearts are always in fashion. Hearts are always something that we can use as little extra embellishments and things like that, and to convey love year-round. So for your greetings in here, you're going to have Happy Valentine's Day. Life is better with you. That would be great for an anniversary. Sending you a big hug anytime somebody needs a little pick-me-up. You make me smile. Lots of hugs and kisses. You and I make the best team. Another great anniversary greeting. You've got these different hearts. And then you have these different stamped images that coordinate with this beautiful punch here. Okay. Then the other stamp set is called Bright Borders. And this one doesn't have any hearts at all. It's got, again, some great images for this border right here. Thank you. I love that it has the From All of Us. I've used that several times already. Congrats, the future is bright. From me to you, so happy for you. And I love when I'm looking at products, I really do pay attention. So for example, the future is bright really jumped out at me because we have a new sunshine die and some other images and stamp sets that would work with the future is bright. Also, that's great for graduation. So I always like to really pay attention to what's in these. So again, you have the bundle, and the bundle has a built-in 10% savings. And then you also have this coordinating stamp set. You don't have to purchase the bundle, as with any of Stampin' Up's coordinated product suites or bundles. The items are also available individually. So let's jump in and let's look at some samples to inspire you. And then I'll give you a couple of tips. So this one features a suite of products I have yet to debut to you. But here I just randomly punched the punch from different designer papers and just kind of, twisted them back and forth. Okay. Wishing you a happy birthday. And then this one is a very similar concept, but instead of making them go different directions, I just lined them up straight across. And then we pulled in some of our upcoming ephemera as well to make a beautiful Valentine's card. So kind of the same layout, but different, if that makes sense. Then for this one, I was actually inspired by the catalog, which is why it's nice to have that print copy. I don't usually stamp and then run it through the embossing folder, but that's how it looked in the catalog. And I actually really enjoyed that look. This is a folder that will be available during Sale-a-bration. And if you look real close, it does have tiny little stars in the middle, but you have to look real close. So it can either be stars, little star burst, or it can just be a pretty kind of flowery background. Here you can see I did stamp the image before punching it and embossed the greeting, and then just added a little bit of fluff from textured floral dies. So that's an idea for you. This was another one that was modified from the catalog. I took their basic idea, added a darker blue, changed up the greeting. They had a You Make Me Smile just to be ahead for Valentine's Day this year. And just kind of layered the two together and did it just real simple like that. Here's another idea for you. Instead of stamping and, die cutting and making images like this, I randomly just stamped the images around the background. This is from our new butterfly bundle. In the center, we added a little bit of glimmer because, glimmer makes me smile. You make me smile, and then some pretty embellishments in the middle. This one we got a little fancy, and we went ahead and tiled the background using the punches. This is from the mixed labels bundle that I haven't debuted yet. It's coming. There's so much stuff, which is why we're doing these daily through January 10th. But I just added some fluff and a little bit of that gold just for a really standout card. This one here, I really enjoy doing this one. This is designer paper that's basically black and white, and I simply just used an aqua painter to add a little bit of that pool party to the flowers behind it and a little bit of coastal cabana. Lined up the stamps, stamped them 3 times. And again, it's okay, they don't always have to fit on the page. That's a generic tip for you when paper crafting. A lot of times we assume that everything has to fit. For example, a hole punch has to fit on the piece of paper, or a whole stamped image has to fit, and it doesn't have to fit. Okay, guys, that will expand the value and the versatility of your images when you think about letting things hang off the end just a little bit. Repeated the greeting twice to coincide with the yay, so happy for you. And then again, I'm just looking for out-of-the-box ideas for the punch. In this case, I used the punch to create a tab. This is an image from the Storybook Moments. And then Sending You a Big Hug is from the bundle set. So cute little card there. So let's take a look at some of the tips that I had for you. And I'm going to set these off to the side for a second and bring in a mat so I can preserve this gray one for as long as possible. Okay, I'll just bring it down here a little bit. There you go. Okay, so first tip is about kind of letting it hang off the edge a little bit, and what I was talking about. Using the grid for me really helps. I can kind of line it up, and I can, like if I know that this is 4 1/4, I can kind of look about where the center is, kind of coming across as well. So using this can really help. And I'm just going to start in the center, and I find that that's the best place to go. And I did start with 4 1/4, and I can cut it down, and I'm just going to go ahead and fill in. So just stamping like that, but start in the center will help you line that up. And that's the technique that I used for this project right here. Then another one is creating that tab. So if you're going to look at this, it has the little pointy edges. And what I found is I just simply folded it in half. And you can either trust your cutting skills with scissors, or you can use a trimmer. Okay, it's up to you. But I'm just going to trust my cutting skills, and I'm going to cut across. And now I have 2 tabs that I can use to create a little tab at the top. Whether you are tabbing pages or creating a tab bookmark or something like that, you're going to be able to create a tab with it. And then when we do the tiling, oops, let me get this off of here for just 1 second. Water, Janet. This wasn't as wet as I wanted it to be, but it's gonna work. Okay, so the same thing here. I like working with my grid paper or my grids, and so any kind of grid's gonna work for you. And I always, again, start in the center if I'm going to completely fill the card. So in this case, I have just some really, and I wanna make sure that all my points are going in the same direction, because that's gonna help with the little bump outs and things like that. And you can just kind of randomly start to put your pieces together however it is that you want to see them. I didn't bring enough variety of colors and things like that. But you kind of get the idea. You're going to start, and then you're going to take and trim your card down to 4 inches by 5 1/4, 3 by 5, whatever size it is that you're going to trim it down to. But again, I start in the middle just like I do with stamping, and I go around to the edge. And the same thing anytime I'm working with lining them up. So on the Valentine card, I always make sure I find kind of my center mark using kind of the grid to help me just a little bit. And then what I'll do is I'll pick up the center one and I'll glue that down first again, and then I'll add the other ones to it. Of course, when you're just going random, it doesn't matter, right? You can just have a whole lot of fun. So let's just bring these back in here. Oh, and then just real quick, just to show you how easy this is to punch. And for those of you who may be new to Stampin' Up! Punches. So I've stamped my image. Stampin' Up! Punches lock flat, which makes them really, really easy to store. And also for those of you who maybe like to go to crops and crafting retreats and stuff, it makes it easier for you to transport them. So we're gonna push the unlock button. And in this case, I'm going to punch upside down, and that means looking through the opening. Now, when you punch this way, be very careful that you don't shove this all the way into the back of your hand. Why? Because it can hurt. It's very easy to pinch this bit of flesh. And if you've ever done that with a punch, give me a confirmation, right? It's no fun. So just be a little careful. That's just a little safety warning if punching upside down. But we want to punch upside down because I want to make sure that I get it in the image here. You're just going to squeeze, and now you have that beautiful punched and ready to go image for you. And then when you're all done, you're just going to lock it flat for storage, and off you go. So just a real quick review of our projects, and a reminder that when you're stamping to create a whole background, start in the middle. You can also create those tabs with it. This tip had nothing to do with these products specifically, but stamp first and then emboss for another fun, different look, a little subtle look. These flowers are actually stamps from the bundles that I showed you. You've got that stamped image here. Another tip that I gave you was to stamp off the edge, okay? Everything doesn't have to fit, and I think this card is extremely striking. And I did pop on, maybe they're not showing up, I did pop on a few embellishments. Oh, can't really see, they look black on there. There we go, we can see a little bit of that Coastal Cabana. And then the sparkles that are on here are our two-tone sparkles. See if they'll catch the light. They just twinkle like a doggone disco ball. Got a little fancy, did what's called tiling on the background. Used the storybook paper. I think this paper is just so elegant. Modified an image from the catalog. Just using those as jumping off points. Created just a nice Valentine's, bringing in a little blue. And then again for these two, kind of a variation on each other. Random squares across, line them up here. This one had the ephemera, and this one has the suite that will be debuting in the coming days. So anytime you have any questions about any of the projects that you've seen, let me know. Of course, everything will be available for order beginning January 7th. And for those of you that do not have a demonstrator, I would love to accommodate your crafting needs, starting with complimentary catalogs. Make sure you message me and we'll get those out in the mail. I'll see you tomorrow morning with more creativity and fun, guys. Have an awesome Sunday.